Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our latest Cloud 2020 Insights. And today's rather a special one. We're not going to do a very long session today, but Ian and I are back in the Cloud 2020 offices for the first time since, well, I think we left the office 11th of March last year. It's a bit odd. It's a bit like the Marie Celeste. And we're currently sitting in separate rooms, and you kind of then wonder, what's the point? But I think we will be having a coffee, a socially distanced coffee together later, and obviously we can actually work in the same room. We just, logistics make this easier to do separately. But Ian, I know you were in yesterday. What's the difference between today and yesterday, apart from the fact I'm here?
Well, obviously the world's brightened up because you're in the room, Wendy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I've been in, 3 or 4 times over the past 12 months, purely to clear the backlog of junk mail from the back of the door. And that was just like in, clear it, and off. And the place had no soul and what have you. Came in yesterday, and again, I'm sat here on my own, and yeah, it was the same old office, but it until you put people in it, it doesn't have a soul. It really doesn't. And after about half a day, I went home. It was no fun. But it's interesting. Now we've come in today, it's just interesting how many things you've got to think about, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Where can you sit? Who's going to make the coffee? Can I pick the cup up? And you just really got to think hard about how you do even the basics.
Yes.
So yeah, we wanted to have a call just now, didn't we? Oh, I'm going to call with Katie, and how do we organise that so that the sound works and we don't cross over and get feedback? And it's a challenging, and we're only a small business, so how these bigger organisations are going to cope, it is a challenge. Certainly, my wife works for a much larger organisation, and they are putting so much effort into working out who can go in when, for how long, and how to just orchestrate the whole process. And it's a major problem. But
Yeah. My partner works for a larger organisation, and within his that company, they've decided that the offices are not for working in. The offices are actually to allow people to get together and have some team building social time together. And consequently, they're actually getting rid of all the desks so nobody will come in and work. And that to me was, when he told me that, I was kind of like, that's an amazing idea and a real change. And I really thought, taking care of people's well-being there as well, thinking about what's important. It's not just productivity. It's wellness, isn't it, and well-being, and that's obviously top of everybody's list because of the pandemic. It's made us all think about looking after ourselves a little bit more and other people, hasn't it?
I've been in touch with a lot of companies, particularly through the Institute of Directors, and I run a regular bi-weekly call with fellow chartered directors, and an awful large number of them are making their spaces available for people to go in, not to do their work, but because they want somewhere to go.
Yes.
So the teams are still virtual.
Yeah.
But some of you may actually be in the building, if that makes sense. It just because some people now are just getting completely stir crazy. They've worked for 12 months off the dining room table, and they just want to get out. They want to break out. I read some interesting reports the other day of how the whole people who 2 months ago people said, that's it, I'm never going back into the office, I don't want to, unless people offer me flexible working, I'll look elsewhere. A couple of weeks ago, same survey came back, people saying, well, do you know what, yes, I do want to go into the office, not necessarily full time, but the majority of people said they wanted to go into the office for a period every now and then, maybe once a week, 2 days a fortnight, scattered, or whatever it was. And I thought it was interesting. It wasn't because people needed that to work at all. It was to facilitate the ability to get out of the house and go and work somewhere else. That was it, really.
Yeah. I think we will see increasingly you know, offices, remote offices that actually are near to your home and not your home. I think that if that was my tip for the next boom, I think that would be it. But I guess the thing that we know is that technology can help with these kinds of difficulties. I know we've been doing some work with the Return to Work app for larger organisations. I mean, in a way, even we need it to have that checklist. What do we think about it, and give out a kind of protocol list to our colleagues here. But larger organisations must want to know that a desk has been cleaned, you know, that there's sanitisation available, hand sanitisers, desk sanitisers, all of that kind of stuff, and that, you know, toilets and bathrooms are being kept clean as well.
Yeah, the one that we're just deploying now is interesting. It's not a huge organisation, but already they've condensed their estate and they have less desks than they have people.
Yeah.
But they're very much taken on board. Work is what you do, not where you do it. So yes, it's got the obvious thing, which is you have to book a seat if you want to go into the office. If you're booking it on the day, depending on the space, there is a minimum booking time. So if you're on the train on the way in and you book a seat, you won't be able to take up that seat for an hour from the time of the booking. That gives the office team the time to make sure that space is clean and ready to accept you, which is great. If you book ahead, then what we built into the app is that you'll get a notification 24 hours beforehand to make sure you've done a lateral flow test. So they're insisting everybody, before they go to the office, has done a lateral flow test 24 hours ahead. But the important thing then also is the fact that two important things. One is you're logging then when people actually come in to accept that booking, and when they leave again to accept that booking. And that's just done on literally on the app, push button, I'm in, I'm out, and that booking is dealt with then. And the reason that's important, in case somebody has symptoms that may signal, in which case you can then identify exactly who's in that space at the same time and issue a general warning to isolate. So that's really that's really quite rather important. And the other thing it does is every time someone makes a booking, it asks them to leave their sentiment about how they felt about going into the office on that day. Yeah. What that does actually is saying, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with that particular space and the arrangements on that particular day? Because part of the app, it gives you a list of check things you have to do or confirm you've done before you can make the booking, and those are flexible, so you can change them depending on status of the building or the current pandemic scenario, what have you. But it's kind of a way of monitoring. Oh, hang on. People are coming in, but they're not particularly comfortable. They're neutral. Right. Why is that? And it gives you a chance then to identify, oh, we weren't happy that the place was cleaned well enough. Okay, fine. Let's get the cleaning sorted, and then let's try and get that sentiment higher. Sure. So a really powerful bit of kit, that tool. And I think, and it applies to anybody. It can apply to us, and it applies to, we're looking at 3,000-4,000 seat companies at the moment who are looking to do something similar in multiple sites. So a really good way of monitoring and managing that scenario.
Yeah, that sounds really, really good there, Ian. And I suppose I'm thinking, if somebody's listening to this call, probably later on, then where would they find out more about that app? Yeah,
well, probably best thing is to click on one of the links that Katie will put on the end of this vid. Really, give us a shout, because we can give you a demo. And the deployment is reasonably straightforward, and but we can talk you through it. And it's a powerful bit of kit, and it does, it can really give you some comfort around allowing the staff back into your sites.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. I think that's probably all for today. But I realised that as I was sitting here, we probably should have had our backgrounds to show that we really were in the office, shouldn't we?
Exactly. Yeah. We should show the office. Yeah, well, I'm actually here. Well,
shall we just for the last for our saying goodbye, shall we turn off our Cloud 2020 backgrounds to show everybody we really are here?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Hang on. Background effects.
There we go.
Mine's not working. Come on, hurry up.
Well, I'm in the office.
You're in the office. Yeah, hang on a minute. There we go. So am I.
There we go.
There we go. On my Jack Jones. You're next door.
Yeah, don't show my mess on the other side of the desk there. Okay, well, I guess that's probably it for now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, be safe, everybody.
Yes, take care.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.